Good morning. My name is Mariette Todd, and my pronouns are she, her, hers. I am a mid-40s, short-ish white lady with a blue dress on and a red scarf. Welcome to First Unitarian Church, where our mission is to explore the eternal, nurture community, and pursue the common good. We welcome you in your brokenness and in your wholeness. No matter who you have been, who you are, or who you are becoming, we greet you today with love. A special welcome to you if you are new to the church. Today's service is part of a special series of summer services. Members of our church congregation design and lead these services, so you'll see a variety of topics and people during the summer services. Our customary services will start again on August 10th with our full-time minister, Reverend Dr. Ken Doss. We're happy to keep you informed about the First Unitarian Church. If you're here in person, you can find a card at the back of the sanctuary where you can share contact information so you can receive our email newsletter. And if you're online, you can find a similar form under newcomers on our website. We're happy to have all our friends, old and new, who are watching us on YouTube this morning. Please introduce yourself in the comments and let us know where you're joining us from. I have a couple of announcements now. We're having a puzzle swap next Sunday, so bring any jigsaw puzzles you want to trade, take home, and come and take home a puzzle yourself. We'll be in Daniel Hall before and after the service. Also, the RE committee is currently recruiting teachers for the next church school year. There will be a table set up in Daniel Hall after today's service where you can sign up or stop by for more information. Welcome to First Unitarian OKC. And now the prelude prepares us for worship. Scott Harvey will light our chalice this morning as we celebrate his July birthday. We light our chalice in Midtown, Oklahoma City, on land that was home to first Americans, including the Apache, Caddo, and Wichita, on land that was taken from the Muskogee and Seminole and other removed and relocated peoples. We gather this morning as one community, a community united by common ideals: love, justice, diversity, freedom, mutual care, equity. Yet look around. Look at the faces of those around you. Each face represents an individual. Every one of us with our own story, needs, strengths, and faults. We light our chalice today honoring our common connection and also the uniqueness that lives within each of us.
I'm Sandra Flansburgh, current president of the congregation, and I'm a 60-ish woman with gray hair. Can you hear me now? And I am wearing a tan top with white polka dots. My pronouns are she, her, hers. This service focuses on community, what it feels like, what it requires from us, and how we can all contribute. I'm honored that Mary Todd agreed to serve as worship associate, and excited that Marcus Upshaw and his musical friends with Compost Adjacent, Ryan Smith, Nicholas Allen, and Joseph Mohamed, agreed to provide the music for this service. Whatever happens during this hour, I know that you will love Marriott's thoughtful reflection and Marcus's amazing music and thoughts. Let's take a few minutes now to share a welcome with your neighbors. When you hear the music start, please return to your spot and join in singing the opening hymn, number 346 in the gray hymnal, Come Sing a Song with Me.
Every Sunday, we take an offering. Since 2002, all the cash and designated checks from that offering have gone directly to external nonprofit organizations doing good work, our Change for Change partners. The Change for Change partner this month is OKC Metro Literacy Coalition. Their mission is to improve the quality of life for our community by supporting the advancement of literacy services in the OKC metro area. They will use the money for Tutoring for Tomorrow, a program offering tutoring assistance for those children working to achieve grade-level reading proficiency. When reading test scores were released in 2023, revealing that 76% of fourth graders were reading below grade level or not reading at all, the Literacy Coalition created the Tutoring for Tomorrow program. For those of you who are in the sanctuary with us today, in just a moment, we'll be passing the offering plate. And if you're watching us online, please make your gift by sending a check to First Unitarian. Just write Change for Change on the memo line, or make an online payment through our website, oneuc.org. First Unitarian Church of OKC is an incredibly unique and vital community. In a sea of red, where legislation often reflects a narrow worldview, and where a singular definition of freedom is increasingly being imposed in our public schools and shared spaces, 1UC stands as a beacon of inclusion, reason, and exploration. It is a privilege to have a place like this in Oklahoma, a space where diverse beliefs are welcomed, where justice and equity are guiding values, and where love is at the heart of our shared mission. We should never take this community for granted. It is something rare and precious, and it deserves our protection, our energy, and our commitment to ensure it thrives, not just for today, but far into the future. Recently, I had the joy of gathering with some old UU friends, some from out of state and others from here in Oklahoma City. Seeing familiar faces and reconnecting with these old friends was another reminder of how this church has fostered community for me. We laughed, shared meals, reminisced about the past, and even talked about plans for future reunions. It struck me that this community would have never existed without this congregation. One UC holds the soil in which those relationships grew, and it continues to nourish connection, growth, and care in my life. Now, as a parent, I experience the church through another lens. I bring my kid to Sunday school as often as I can, and every time I see him playing and learning with other children, I feel deeply grateful. He's forming his own bonds through this community. We all have our own One UC community stories. Each one is uniquely special, and together they form a vibrant tapestry, woven from threads of love, resilience, and compassion. Some threads are bold and bright, others are soft and subtle, but all are essential to the whole. There is still room on this tapestry, room for new patterns, new colors, new stories to be stitched alongside ours. And so now, I want to celebrate some of our recent wins, those bright spots that remind us of our unique space in Oklahoma. First, I feel compelled to start with this. The OKC Thunder won the championship. I believe that this community can take some cosmic credit for that joy. We're welcoming a new minister next month. Someone who is familiar with the dynamics of Oklahoma, but will bring new energy and life into our community. We'll have a new music director soon. Someone who will not only help us lift our voices through the choir, but will lead the bell choir. How wonderful is that? We've installed a new playground, a space for our youngest members to play, laugh, and build their own friendships. And most importantly, we are on a path of growth. Spiritually, communally, and as a progressive and radically accepting presence in our city. We stand prepared for what is to come next, and that is a testament to our One UC community.
Hello, everyone. My name is Marcus Upshaw. My pronouns are he or him. I'm a black male in early 30s, and I've got long hair here and a blue shirt on. Today, I will be just giving a reflection on some of my personal experiences with tension and disagreement in community. One of the first things that came to my mind as I was thinking back is a disagreement I had with a friend about some of our beliefs. We were hanging out in my backyard, and he began to tell me about a belief system that he had recently adopted. I was a little dismissive at first because it seemed a bit ridiculous. But realizing that he was serious, I tried to open up a little bit more. But as things continued, I ended up asking my friend to leave. He just wouldn't stop going on about it. And he seemed to think that if I couldn't come to terms with his beliefs, then I must be somehow uneducated. This was very upsetting for me. And it made me think a lot. Made me think, why did he do that? Why did it upset me so much? Was there some other way that I could have handled the situation? And in time, I've come to realize that it's okay to be friends with people who have different beliefs. It's pretty inevitable. But the thing is, how do I deal with that going on, I've realized that we don't have to talk about everything. We don't have to share all of our thoughts all the time. One of the values I've got from this situation is being pushed to consider other people's views, and to think how my opinions come across, and are they important to the relationships that I have? Are they necessary to the moments that I have with the people that I spend my time with? And I thought about a number of things, and I also wanted to go think about some things that are a little more positive at least on the front end. Of course, I thought a lot about playing music and my experiences doing that. And one thing I've realized is that through playing music, I've come to appreciate positive and encouraging environments. And that seems like easy, but sometimes it's harder to come across those than you'd think it might be. I remember thinking back to a time as a player there was a player that I looked up to, and remember him saying after a show how important it was for him to be comfortable with the people that he was playing with. He felt that it allowed him to play more freely, knowing that he was around people that would support him wherever he went musically. I realized that I've been very blessed to be in situations like this, where I felt that musically I could speak my mind, I could try different things out, and the people that I was with would follow me, and they would support me. Being in environments like these where you can have a different opinion from someone else, but still appreciate their time and still appreciate their ideas, it can be very empowering. And to end it, I'd like to kind of continue with the positive note here. And one thing that almost slipped my mind when I kind of think of tension and disagreement is it doesn't always come off as uncomfortable. Sometimes it just kind of passes by. But I just wanted to think about so many times in my life where someone thought that I could do something and I didn't think I could do it. And it was maybe uncomfortable for them to say, like, hey, do this, you should do this, you should try it. And to hear me say, no, I don't think so. But I just wanted to appreciate many of those moments that I had with teachers, with family, with friends, with people that I didn't know. And one in particular that made me think of this was Sandra had asked me to do this reflection, and immediately I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do that. That sounds fun. But somewhere in my mind I was like, oh man, I don't know. But I appreciate that she believes that it would be a good reflection, even if there were times where I didn't. And so I want to thank you, Sandra, for inviting me once again, and inviting me and also inviting my friends to play. And I want to thank you all for listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcus. As I invite you to come into yourself in this place to meditate or pray, I offer words by Douglas Taylor. Eternal Spirit, from whom all things come and to whom all things return, we gather this morning in community, seeking to live in harmony. Each of us here gathered lives out our lives, knowing our own story, our own private melody. Life, at its highest and sweetest, is a sharing. Life is a sharing of our melodies, of our love and interest, of our yearning and questions. We gather this morning as individuals creating harmony and community together. May our different ways of knowing and naming the holy blend together. May our voices be added to the holy chorus of life. May we practice our scales that we may better improvise and recognize where we come in when it is our time. The world is rife with discord and trouble. Injustice and suffering weigh us down and trip us up and stop our voices. May we learn to trust in love, in God, in our own voices, in the trembling faith of our forebears, to trust that we have a part in this symphony and we can join this chorus and bring some beauty to the cacophony around us. May there be times of gentle tones and soothing melodies. May there be rhythms upon which we can rely to rally our spirits at need. May there be teachers and bandmates, fans and good companions to help call our best music out of us. May there be moments when we are transported, moments when we discover we are not playing the music so much as the music is flowing through us. The music is playing us. O Spirit of life, may our song be among the songs of the Spirit. May there be beauty in our song and in our living. May there be meaning and power in our song. And may our individual voices blend into the chorus that is thee, O Spirit. This we ask in the name of all that is holy. May it be so. Back when I was in the thick of raising my daughter, Catalina, as a single mom, my deepest fear was what would happen to her should I die. That may be every single mom's worst fear. I never was able to feel good about what I had written into my will should that happen. My parents were already elders. For many reasons, there were no relatives I would feel good about entrusting my precious daughter to. In the end, I put in something, relying on generous friends, changed my lifestyle to be very healthy, but it didn't help much with that fear. Then something tragic happened in our church community, something that strangely and sadly eased my mind. This was back when Catalina was making me come to church every Sunday because of the RE program and the people here. There was a strong community among parents based on regular volunteering with the classes, sitting on RE committees, helping with outings, and so on. I think that's still the case. I didn't realize quite how strong that community was, though, until parents got word early one morning that a single mom in our group had been in a horrific traffic accident with her son. She had died either on impact or at some point during the night, and been found the next morning in her car with her dear son still alive in there with her. The son, and I'll call him Daryl, was rescued fortunately, but was in critical condition at the hospital. My worst fear, right? However, pretty much immediately, I watched our church community of parents go into action that still brings tears to my eyes. Led at first by our former Director of Religious Education, Terry Ward, parents signed up to take 4-hour watches 24 hours a day so that Daryl would never wake up in the ICU or later in the hospital room and find himself alone. I took a few night shifts when Catalina could stay at my folks' house and I wasn't having to be at work. Daryl's mother and father were divorced and the process had been very difficult. Dad had some struggles of his own. But after Daryl was released from the hospital, a group of parents worked with his dad and his very competent and caring uncle to help support this new family so that it was a stable and loving unit. They helped Dad and Uncle keep Daryl connected to his church community. Daryl eventually made his way through our youth program, went to college, and I have to admit that I've lost touch with him a little bit. Others stay better connected. I do know that it would have been a very different situation had there not been this strong community to catch him when it was most needed. I felt very honored to have contributed just a few hours to this tremendous active community. Others were better able to do a lot more. It was in watching and participating in my very small way during this time that I realized that this community would step in should the worst happen. It was a burden lightened because the community showed it cared. And that is not the only time this church community has stepped in to care for children, elders, and others when their caretakers cannot. We actually talk about community a lot here at First Unitarian. That's no accident. Heck, nurturing community is part of our mission statement. It's what so many of us come to church looking for. It's something we need as human beings. Research tells us that connection with other human beings is one of the factors for resilience among elders, keeping mental faculties healthy and even prolonging life. The same is true when we try to help build resilience in children and youth. They just need other adults who are not their parents caring and knowing their name. My friend, the Reverend Lance Schmitz, said to me once, "People like being asked to do hard things." I propose that community building is one of those hard things that requires something of us, an effort. And why make that effort? For me, I want to be part of an institution that fosters community, where I feel a sense of belonging, where it feels my contributions matter. So what do I mean when I talk about community? People often think about community as a group of people who share an interest or who live together in a particular area. When we talk about a church community, and especially when we talk about striving for a diverse community at a UU church, those standard ways of understanding don't really work quite as well. I believe at first glance, there's a tension sometimes between what often feels to me like a very individualistic approach to religion in Unitarian Universalism, and then the striving for unity and community. If we welcome everybody as they are, where do we find common ground? One answer, of course, is in our values. We share common values. We come together, people from so many different beliefs and experiences and backgrounds, and work in covenant to follow our own spiritual path, to support others on their paths, and to align ourselves in making a difference for the good. Unity amidst diversity. But that's not an easy task. We see tension in our bigger world between individualism, individual rights, and a sense of being one country, one nation. That tension has always been there, but it feels heightened right now for a lot of reasons. Sometimes I think a country this big and diverse is ungovernable. Certainly it seems like it would be easier if we had a more homogeneous population. But at least for me, this dream of diversity in all its glory promises such richness, I go back to wanting to fight for it. I want to be in a place where I learn from other people's perspectives, from their experiences in different cultures, in different countries, in different communities, in a way that helps me reflect on my own growth. What does that take? I don't think community necessarily just springs up. I think that building a sense of community and finding happiness share some common elements. Writing about happiness, Elizabeth George of Eat, Pray, Love fame notes, people tend to think that happiness is a stroke of luck, something that will descend like fine weather if you're fortunate. But happiness is the result of personal effort. You strive for it, fight for it, insist upon it. You have to participate relentlessly. To have a thriving community, we need to fight for it, strive for it, and participate relentlessly. Rather than going from place to place searching for community, we usually find the true community when we make the decision to look around where we are and build it. Or as Mary Engelbright said, bloom where you're planted. Build community where you are. Already our church does a lot of things right. Mary had named a few of them in her reflection. So many people contribute to this community in so many different ways. Some of us here already feel a strong sense of community, and that's wonderful. Here are some thoughts, though, that I have on nurturing it. First, being part of a community means that we show up when it's possible, and we both give and get. Community isn't transactional. Good institutions and communities help us move from maybe beginning transactionally to a greater sense of investing in something bigger than ourselves. We give because we care about something bigger than ourselves. As Carl Sandburg is quoted as having written to his UU church in Asheville, North Carolina, you can't go tramping around from church to church and build anything up. Who would want to go on a picnic all the time and eat out of other people's baskets? You've got to feel the importance of your own individual participation in its life. Second, we need to challenge ourselves to learn, change, and grow. As Reverend John Alou said a few months ago, when we are part of a true community, our own change is a part of that experience. A little over 10 years ago, our church board read together the book Growing a Beloved Community by Tom Owen Toll. The author notes that it is a maddening but necessary paradox we religious liberals must ride. We're accepted as we are, even as we're challenged to grow towards whom we might become. Part of the beauty and difficulty of a diverse community is the necessity of learning and changing. It's sometimes hard to know that when people who are different from us come through the door, our community changes. And Mark has shared a little bit about some of those difficulties and some of those joys. But that's a good thing. If we don't change, if we don't grow, we miss out on the growth that is possible together. So to build a diverse community, we need to be curious about the other people in that community and willing to reflect on ourselves. That's what I loved about another community I value, our organizing group, Voice. In the early years, we were starting with a coalition of people and institutions of different religions and missions and experiences. And by learning to be curious about each other as people, over time, we developed the trust that allowed us to commit to and stand beside each other, not just when the issue was our top priority. More importantly, the sense of community and trust made us stand together when the issue was someone else's. That's a thriving community and something to continually work towards. That understanding and solidarity was built step by step and conversation by conversation, intentionally. One basic thing organizers teach you is to look around and find somebody interesting, and then ask them if they would have a short conversation with you, one-on-one. In organizing, that's foundational. It's how relationships and trust are built and how a sense of community begins to arise. And it's fun. I give you permission to just walk up to someone you are curious about and start a conversation, or ask them to share coffee. Finally, we have to be able to forgive ourselves and others. If you take risks, I guarantee you're going to make mistakes. Others will also make mistakes. say the wrong thing, forget your name, use the wrong pronoun, not really listen when you're talking. Actually, given that this community is made up of imperfect human beings, we can surely agree that mistakes will be made. Nurturing community means respecting the human beings with us and giving them the grace to try, fail, and try again. To be sure, community is about each of us thriving, but it's also about each of us caring that others here thrive as well. All of us come with our strengths and differences, and at various times we are strong or we feel vulnerable. We need to provide safety and sanctuary. For some of us, especially those who feel unsafe outside these walls, that may be what we need to do most. That's important and enough. But I hope also that this community challenges us to see what we can offer each other, whatever our own situation. It is powerful when each of us realize that we have something, however small, to contribute. This church is the only institution I'm part of in which I can meet and have relationships with people of all ages. I remember attending memorial services for some of our elders and wishing deeply that I had known more about their experiences and wisdom before they passed. This is a place where you can work to do that. Ask a question and then truly listen. Create a space with them where listening thrives with patience and curiosity. On the other end, it is our children, youth, and young adults who bring much of the rich diversity of gender identity, race, and ethnicity our church now offers. Generosity of spirit and a willingness to learn from others works with younger church members too. Volunteer in spaces where you can meet them and learn from them, because there is much to learn. Something Reverend Mark Christian and Reverend John Liu always said years ago during membership ceremonies was, paraphrasing, "If you are with us long enough, there will be a time when you are disappointed by this congregation, and when you will disappoint this congregation. The most important thing is what happens next." Another thing that I truly value about this church is that it's the only community I'm a part of where I've stayed long enough to have both of those things happen. And I'm still here. So what happens next? I have a poster that hangs in my hallway that I've had for many, many years by the Syracuse cultural workers entitled "How to Build Community." It lists things like turn off your TV, leave your house, know your neighbors, look up when you're walking. In the same vein, I'd like to offer a few ideas for building community. Learn the name of someone new. Come a little before service and have some coffee and conversation, and even a donut. Say hello to someone you don't know when we greet our neighbors during the service, and work hard to remember their face and their name for the next Sunday. Check out a small group like the Fiber Connections group. Ask for help. Buy a bar of fair trade chocolate or a pound of coffee and chat a moment with the volunteer selling it. Help someone. Sign up for a listening session when our voice team organizes one-on-ones in the fall. Ask an elder to tell you something about their life that they think would surprise you, and then really listen. Volunteer to work with our Befrienders group. Admit a mistake. Volunteer to help run one of the new religious education clubs we're organizing for the children and youth in the fall in Daniel Hall after the service. Remember that you don't have to be perfect. Sing in the choir. Ask a younger member what worries them the most. Cultivate humility. Forgive someone who has wronged you. Tell someone what you've learned from them. That list could go on and on. No, we want you here in our community. What do you have to contribute to it? Amen, and blessed be. And now please rise as you are willing and able and join us for hymn number 347, Gather the Spirit, in the gray hymnal.
We extinguish our chalice, flame, but not the light of love and community, which burns in our hearts.
We close with words by Darcy Roque. There is too much hardship in this world to not find joy every day. There is too much injustice in this world to not right the balance every day. There is too much pain in this world not to heal every day. Each of us ministers to a weary world. Let us go forth now and do that which calls us to make this world and this church community more loving, more compassionate, and more filled with the grace of divine presence every day.